us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning Board of County Commissioner meeting, March 28th, 2024. My name is Andy Hunthausen. To my left, Commissioner Tom Rolfe. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Flo Liston, taking care of us today. Thank you, Flo. Good morning. My right, Commissioner Candace Payne.
Good morning.
Nico Hash, Deputy County Attorney. Good morning. And Roger Baltz, Chief Administrative Officer. There is a sign-in sheet in the front as well as agendas. Please sign in prior to the meeting today so we have a good record of who's attended our meetings. And we will start, Mr. Baltz, with consent action items.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. You have one item for consideration. It's item 2A, vendor claims report for the week ending March 29, 2024. Staff recommends approval, and Marty Bentley is here as usual. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. And I might have done all that with my mic off. I'm sorry, Flo. So good morning, everyone. If you didn't hear me out there in TV land and whatnot, it's the Board of County Commissioners meeting and just introductions. We just presented the consent action items. Commissioners, any questions about the consent action item? Any public comment on consent action? Any public comment? All right, is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the consent action item 2A, vendor claims report, as explained by Mr. Baltz.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve vendor claims report as presented under consent action items. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you very much. And I will defend myself here because my microphone, when it's lighter green, then it's a little bit darker green when you turn it on. So I don't have the red and green, which is kind of a bummer. It's a little deceiving here. So.
Also very anti-Christmas.
Yes, it is. I
red
don't
and
have
green.
the Christmas flow on my mic. So anyway, I believe it's on now. I think it's the darker green. So again, welcome everyone. And we will move to our third item on the agenda, which is a contract between Lewis and Clark County and Trinity Builders, LLC. Good morning.
It's green.
Great.
Good morning, Commissioners, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Pam Attardo. I am the Heritage Preservation Officer for the city and county. And I'm here regarding a contract for the Unionville School. And this is for Trinity Builders, LLC in the amount of $2,815.20. So we previously had a contract with Trinity Builders that expired at the end of December. We were relying on a volunteer to do some repairs to clean and paint the windows before he got them. And so the contract expired before we could get it to Trinity Builders. So this is just, he did purchase materials. And so this is a lesser amount. It was, the contract was originally an amount a little over $4,000. So this is the balance that he is going to be earning to repair the windows, and then the volunteers will be actually installing them. He will not. And you'll be seeing a couple of more contracts come through within the next couple of weeks. We have four that are pending. One is a tree removal when there was excavation behind the building to put the new foundation in. There are 3 trees that are about 80 to 100 feet tall. They're beautiful ponderosas. Unfortunately, they're going to have to come down because if their roots were very badly affected through the excavation. And so we don't want, after we do this beautiful school, having these 3 trees potentially fall. They would fall downhill right on the school. So that will be coming, a contract for that. There's rafters and drywall contract. This would be for sistering the rafters in the attic and putting a header in also above the window. Those windows, when they go back in, we'll have to do a contract for a small contract for about $3,000 for the structural engineer to do the attic rafter plans. And the last thing is electrical to rewire the whole building since I don't know the last time, nothing is to code in it. It's kind of dangerous. We turn the electricity off and do not let it sit there because we're just afraid of electrical fires. So any questions?
Thank you very much for the update. Just to remind us, I really appreciate that because I was going to ask about the kind of the update, but today we're focusing on this small grant
Yes.
or small contract to complete this window restoration job.
Yes.
And this is just really a new contract because we hadn't quite gotten the work done within the time period of the past contract. So this is really completing the job.
Yes, and the contractor was away on it with a show and we couldn't get him to extend the contract. So we had to, it expired on us and yeah.
Sure. So doing you know, okay. Just wanted to make sure we were clear on that.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the update. Commissioners, questions?
Just
Welcome.
this is within the $100,000 that we had set aside for the
So
total project.
this is 100,000 plus we requested $10,000 additional through finance and the grants manager. And so I don't know that we will use the whole 10,000. But yeah, fees, expenses went beyond the $100,000. And we also had that additional $5,000 from the Foundation for Montana History. So this grant here is coming out of that $5,000 Foundation for Montana History grant. But there's additional things that I just told you about. Those things, some of them we had money for, some of them we did not. So that was the request for the extra 10.
So the 110 will cover everything.
Yes, and really 115 if you add in that 5,000 Foundation for Montana History grant. Yeah, that will
Mr.
cover
Chair,
everything.
Mr. Baltz.
if I could, thank you, Commissioners. Just to clarify, you have authorized in the use of ARPA funds a 10% contingency.
Right.
If projects require it, Commissioner Rolfe, just as a reminder. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay, any other questions? We're looking forward to the project being complete.
Me too. May
Excited to see it this
31st.
summer.
May
Yeah.
31st is our goal because we have a June 1st report for the grant. So,
Right.
yeah.
If there are any celebrations up there for completion, make sure we're invited, please.
You will get an invitation.
Okay, fantastic. How about public comment on this item? Public comment.
And if you need a band, you're supposed to tell them to contact me. I've already talked to them about this. Just remind them.
I will remind them because
Thank
I
you.
remember you folks from the history fair.
All right, public comment? Any public comment on this item? All right, hearing none. Commissioners, your motion, please.
I move that we approve the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Trinity Builders LLC as presented by Pam Attardo.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Moved and seconded to approve the contract as presented. Further discussion?
Thank you.
All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is a bid opening for Valley Drive improvements. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. I'm Audra Zacherl, Assistant Director of Public Works. This morning, we have a bid opening for the Valley Drive Improvements Project, which consists of constructing a 1.5-inch asphalt overlay from Canyon Ferry Road to Howard Road. We have 3 bids to open this morning. This first bid that I will be opening is from Helena Sand and Gravel Incorporated of Helena, Montana. This bid appears to be fully complete. Bid security has been included. The total bid price for all unit work is $148,900 and no cents. This second bid that I will be opening this morning is from Hoffman's R&M Services of Butte, Montana. Hey, this bid appears to be fully complete. Bid security has been included. The total bid amount for unit price work is $148,618 and no cents. This last bid that I will be opening this morning is Cap Paving Incorporated of East Helena, Montana. Okay, this bid appears to be fully complete. It appears that a bid security has been included. The total bid amount for unit price work is $150,603 and no cents. Staff requests that the commissioners allow Public Works to go back to the committee and review these bids more thoroughly and come back to you in 2 weeks' time. And I apologize, I did not look at the date.
Get that.
Everybody's looking.
It is, today's the 28th, correct? So 2 weeks would
Ap-
be the 11th?
April 11th.
April 11th.
And come back for a recommendation for award on April 11th.
Thank you very much. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment? All right, hearing none. Commissioners, is there a motion to ask staff to take the bids under advisement and make a recommendation to the commission on April 11th?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second to ask staff to take the bids under advisement, make a recommendation back to this commission. Any further discussion, commissioners? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is a bid opening for the Augusta gravel tract.
Good morning again. For the record, I'm Audra Zacherl, Assistant Director of Public Works. We have another bid opening this morning. This one is for the purchase of 1 1/4 inch minus top surfacing gravel. Approximately 20,000 tons of material are needed to be stockpiled by June 30th, 2024 within a 10-mile radius of the intersection of Sun Canyon and Bar Creek Roads in Augusta, Montana, for a project that Public Works is hoping to accomplish this construction season. This morning, we have one bid to open. This bid that I will be opening is from Valley Sand and Gravel of Helena, Montana. Okay, this bid appears to be fully complete. Bid security has been included. We have a total bid amount of $197,800 and no cents. Again, staff would like the county commission to allow Public Works to take these bids back and fully look at it and come back to you with a recommendation on April 11th.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions, Commissioner?
No.
Any public comment on this item? Any public comment? All right, is there a motion, please?
Excuse me, are we using the April 11th
Yes,
date?
yes,
Okay, then. So moved.
Second.
So moved and seconded to have staff take this bid under advisement, make a recommendation to this commission on April 11th. Is that correct, commissioners? Okay, you get the head nods? Yes, all right. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Okay, sixth item on our agenda is a bid award for the 2024 chip seal.
Thank you. Again, Audra Zacherl, Assistant Director of Public Works. This agenda item this morning is for the 2024 chip seal surfacing project award. On March 12th, 2 bids were received and opened for the 2024 chip seal surfacing project. The project generally consists of chip seal surfacing, fog sealing, and paint striping on approximately 11 miles of various county roads and 21 miles within several rural improvement districts. Funding for this project is budgeted in the Road Infrastructure Fund using road mill levy revenue and budgeted in the individual RID funds. Chip seal and fog seal work will be completed between July 15th and August 31st. And paint striping work will be substantially complete on or before September 17th. After review of all bids by the selection committee, staff recommends awarding the contract to the low bidder, Helena Sand and Gravel Incorporated of Helena, Montana, for a total contract amount of $1,819,995.69 and authorize the chair to sign all applicable contract documents. Are there any questions?
Question?
None.
Thank you. How about public comment on this item? Public comment. Public comment. Okay, hearing none. Commissioners?
Mr. Chair, I would move to award the bid on the 2024 chip seal project as recommended by staff to Helena Sand and Gravel for $1,819,995.
And 69 cents.
And 69 cents, yes.
Gotta watch those.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second, yes.
Moved and seconded to award the bid as presented. Any further discussion, Commissioners? Just like to say thank you. This doesn't just happen.
I do have
Oh,
one word, and this is just a comment, and I don't remember if I was at the grocery I was someplace out in the community, and a gentleman came up to me, thanked me for getting the RID for the funding and getting it moving along. They have worked very long and hard. I don't remember which RID it was, but he was very happy that after all the work they've put in, that we've gotten the job done, and he was successful despite some naysayers in his neighborhood. So just wanted to pass that on.
great. Thank you. And as I started there, I was saying thank you to you and the Public Works team for the work. These bids don't come to this point without some work. First, preparing it and getting it out there, collecting those bids, making sure that it's all done in public and within the rules and laws, and then also making sure that they have met our needs and specifications, and hopefully within a budget that we have been planning on. So all of that has to come together to make this happen, and the projects then are out on the ground. And I know that the public sometimes like, when is this going to happen? Why doesn't this happen? But all of these things have to happen in the background in order to get to the point of projects being implemented. So thank you very much. Recognizing all of the work that goes on behind the scenes and crossing of the T's and the dotting of the I's. It is significant, I know. So thank you. With that, Commissioners, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I did. I did take public comment on this one. I'm sure I did. If there is any other public comment, we're welcome to hear it. Any public comment on this item? No, I think I did. Okay, thank you. It passes and the award is granted to Helena Sand and Gravel. All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is task order number 13 to the contract between Lewis Clark County and Great West Engineering, Inc. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. My name is Jessica Makus, Special Districts Program Coordinator for Lewis and Clark County. Before you today is Task Order 13 with Great West Engineering to perform an assessment of drainage issues existing throughout the Eastgate 2 subdivision. This is up on the map for you all as well. This subdivision is included in the Eastgate 2 Rural Improvement District, created in 1979 to maintain subdivision infrastructure. At that time in the late 70s through the subdivision process, stormwater was often considered as an afterthought, if at all. Since that time, additional development has occurred around the subdivision, which has added to the impervious surface, contributing stormwater to the subdivision. This water ends up accumulating in the intersections, primarily along Boundary Street running east-west to the north, and Remington to the south. You can see those here. I can try to, this is Boundary here, and then down here you have Remington. So those are the worst areas here. Over the years, this has had a significant negative impact to the road infrastructure and maintenance efforts. While many of the north-south streets are able to shed this water with the existing flow pattern direction and curb infrastructure, Boundary Street and Remington in particular have sustained significant damage from standing water and will eventually require significant improvements through a new RID. Until that time, though, we will continue to provide maintenance through the existing RID framework. In order to continue with this road maintenance and preservation within this RID, we need to address stormwater impacts to get the water off the road network where possible. This task order will provide us with a stormwater mitigation strategy so that we can do that and continue to provide necessary road maintenance. Part of this task order may also include recommendations for future stormwater infrastructure. However, any recommended improvements would be completed through a new RID. So while this task order will assist us in our effort to provide annual maintenance, it will have the added benefit of providing future stormwater mitigation strategies that can be implemented prior to any new road improvement investment. The task order before you will use existing storm drainage information, past studies, and on-the-ground information and modeling to determine how best to maintain stormwater throughout the subdivision. It is anticipated this project will be completed by July 31st, 2024. Additionally, staff are preparing an RRGL, a Renewable Resource Grant and Loan Program planning grant to offset the cost of this task order. A final application will be presented to this commission as soon as possible. It should be noted, though, that if awarded, any costs associated with the task order would be eligible for reimbursement. Therefore, we're in a good position to move forward with the execution of this task order now. Plus, this will allow Great West to get on the ground during spring runoff, which is an important time for stormwater. Staff recommend the Board of County Commissioners approve Task Order 13 with Great West Engineering in the amount of $44,500 with an end date of July 31st, 2024, and authorize the chair to sign all applicable documents.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions? Any questions about this?
Well explained.
Yes.
Well, I just out of curiosity, where in the heck are they going to put that stormwater? Do you have any idea yet?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Payne, I do not know yet. There are some options, to the north of Boundary Street, near the Eastgate Sewage Lagoon. There's a ditch network there. It's unclear. Sometimes they're able to put in, subdivisions that are created today, right? Have a plan to keep stormwater on site. That's a requirement now. In the late 70s, it wasn't, and this area was not developed, around this subdivision either. So now after the fact, sometimes they can put in infiltration structures underground to hold stormwater. It really just depends on where it is, where it's coming from, and how much. And so this study will help determine, individual subbasins throughout this district to effectively determine, how much stormwater is going where. So that will be helpful.
Thank you, Jessica. No more.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I guess related to this, and one of the issues is that stormwater, when it sits on and stays on the infrastructure, it creates problems, not only for the safety of the driving public, but freeze thaw and durability and length of time that a roadway may last or an intersection may last. All of those things are impacted. So getting the water away from the streets will be really important for their longevity. And this particular subdivision already is kind of behind the 8 ball in terms of overdue maintenance and what's the term? I can't remember the term that we use, but anyway, the maintenance is way overdue, and some of the streets are in rough shape and need some work. So it's going to be quite a road for them getting to a place that is sufficient, I suppose. If you have comments on
Yeah,
that.
Mr. Chair, I'm glad that you brought
Deferred
that up.
maintenance, that's what I was.
Sure, yeah. And this is we'll talk about Eastgate 1 next on the agenda, but Eastgate 2 is our second oldest RID in the county and created in 1979. So absolutely these specifically Boundary and Remington are nearing the end of their functional road life. And we will have to address that through new RIDs and new improvements at some point here. However, like you said, when you have standing water, when you have uncontrolled stormwater, it's very difficult to perform maintenance as needed until you can get that addressed. It's very causes a lot of damage to our road networks and is a big impact out there.
Great, thank you very much. Anything further, commissioners?
I guess one question. You're applying for that renewable resource grant and loan program.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that isn't covered by that, which fund is this coming out of?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Rolfe. So it would come out of the Eastgate 2 RID fund.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anything further? How about public comment on this item? Public comment. Public comment. Okay, hearing none, commissioners, is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve task order number 13 to the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Great West Engineering as explained by Ms. Makus.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the task order as presented. Further discussion, commissioners? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is task order number 12 to the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Great West Engineering. Makus.
Sorry. Thank you, commissioners. Again, Jessica Makus, Special Districts Program Coordinator. Before you today is task order 12 with Great West Engineering to perform an assessment of drainage issues existing throughout the Eastgate 1 subdivision. And again, this is up on the map. I can't get the zoom quite right there, but you can see the bulk of that subdivision there on your map. This subdivision is included in the Eastgate 1 Rural Improvement District, created in 1978 to maintain and preserve subdivision infrastructure. At that time, again, stormwater was not often considered as an improvement infrastructure, but was often an afterthought. Since that time, again, additional development has occurred, all around this subdivision, which has added to the impervious surface, contributing stormwater to the subdivision. This water ends up accumulating along Grove Drive, running north-south, and in intersections, specifically between Buckboard Drive and Gradestake Street, a couple points along Buttercup to the east, and then along Beechnut Street. Over the years, this has had a significant negative impact to the road infrastructure and to maintenance efforts. While many of the streets, particularly in this subdivision, the ones running east-west, are able to shed the water with existing flow pattern direction and the curb infrastructure, areas where the water has accumulated and puddled on the surface for extended periods of time have sustained quite a bit of damage and, again, will eventually require significant improvements through a new RID. However, until that time, we will continue to provide maintenance through the existing RID. Again, in order to continue with road maintenance and preservation within the district, we do need to address the stormwater impacts to get the water off the road network. This task order will provide us with the stormwater mitigation strategies so that we can do that, and again, continue to provide necessary road maintenance. Part of this task order may also include those recommendations for future stormwater mitigation efforts. And again, any recommended improvements would be completed through a new RID. While this task order will assist us in our effort to provide annual maintenance to the RID, again, it will have that added benefit of providing future stormwater mitigation strategies. The task order before you will use existing storm drainage information, past studies completed in the area, on the ground information, and stormwater modeling to determine how best to maintain stormwater throughout the subdivision. It's anticipated this project will be completed by July 31st, 2024. Again, this project and the other project are being looked at together for the RRGL, the Renewable Resource Grant and Loan Program Planning Grant, to offset the cost of the task order. And that final grant application would come before you for approval before submission. And again, those costs, any costs spent on this task order would be eligible for reimbursement through that grant program. Staff recommend the Board of County Commissioners approve task order 12 with Great West Engineering in the amount of $42,300 with an end date of July 31st, 2024, and authorize the chair to sign all applicable documents.
Thank you very much. Questions, commissioners? How about public comment on this item? How about public comment? Any public comment? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the task order 12 to the contract between Lewis and Clark County and Great West Engineering as presented by Jessica Makus.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Moved and seconded to approve the task order as presented. Further discussion?
You know, one of the things, I'd like to just throw it in here. A lot of people don't realize, if you're not part of Eastgate 1 or Eastgate 2, that neither of those subdivisions are within the city of East Helena. They're totally within the county. And I think that's kind of an interesting fact that escaped my knowledge before I got on the commission. People should maybe be aware of that.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. And these are dense and older now subdivisions and with older infrastructure that dense. They're densely.
I was thinking of like a car with a dent. Thank you. Never mind.
No problem. So they're quite dense subdivision.
Yeah. Mhm.
Not dented, but dense. Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes. And so this is very appropriate, as we discussed in the last item, that stormwater can wreak havoc on infrastructure, and this infrastructure is already old and under a lot of stress and at the end of its lifespan. So doing this work to make sure we have a plan for the water to move away, as well as then build on that for future improvements. This is kind of step one, or the step we're on anyway. Maybe not step one, but step we're on. So thank you for the good work. Commissioners, anything further? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 And yes, Commissioner Rolfe, it's hard to, get into the city of East Helena. So you got to have, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, these were never incorporated, but I can get you in if you want to get into the
Oh, okay.
great city.
All
I
right.
still have a pass. All right, next
Have to know
item.
the password, I understand.
Yeah, that's right. Next item on the agenda is task order number 101 between Lewis and Clark County and Great West Engineering. Morning, Mr. Carlin.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. I'm Dan Carlin, County Engineer. For you today is task order number 101 with Great West Engineering to complete a preliminary engineering report, or PER, and prepare a grant application to the Montana Coal Endowment Program, or MSEP. Work will include updating the county bridge inventory, reviewing National Bridge Inventory Rating, or NBIR, reports received from MDT for Lewis and Clark County's off-system bridges, on-site inspections of bridges identified to have critical deficiencies, assist in updating the 5-year capital improvements plan, provide planning level estimated costs associated with any needed repairs and or replacements, prioritizing the county's bridge needs, and assist staff in selecting a structure to nominate for MSEP funding to replace it. After this is complete, the consultant will also prepare the PER for the selected bridge, assist with public hearings, prepare the MSEP application, assist staff in responding to inquiries from the MSEP program during the evaluation process, and assist staff with legislative hearings. This work is funded through an MSEP planning grant, and the county received last week in the amount of $32,000. The planning grant has a required match of 20% up to $8,000, which is budgeted for in the FY24 bridge budget. Staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve Task Order 101 with Great West Engineering Incorporated for a contract amount not to exceed $40,000. And I can answer questions you may have.
Great. Any questions, commissioners?
I have,
Commissioner?
I'm, Dan, I'm looking at the Public Works Department description of this action, and there is a 0 left off, and it changes it from 32,000 to 3,200. This is in the paragraph that starts, this work is funded through MSEP. Planning grant to the county received last week in the amount of 32,00. So as long as that doesn't impact what we're doing, it's fine. But sometimes a decimal point can make a difference.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Payne, on the version I sent for the agenda item, I caught that typo as I was printing out my presentation for today. So it is 32,000, not 3,200.
Thank you. That's all.
Excellent to have on the record. Thank you, Commissioner. That's good. And Mr. Carlin, I would just affirm or have you affirm, this is something that we have done on a regular basis. And this is something that we've been very successful in working with, mainly Great West Engineering on these projects and evaluating our bridges and then deciding on what one might be or ones might be applied for MSAP money. And so we've had a long, successful run at this.
Yes.
Comment on that.
Mr. Chair, yes. So the program is now called MSEP. In prior iterations, it was called the Treasure State Endowment Program, which began in the 90s. We've been utilizing it since then. We've replaced upwards of, well, at least 20 bridges using this program. So we've been very successful. We've had a great partnership with Great West on this one in particular, on this program in particular. Yes, and hope to continue to do that on this, whichever bridge we land on this cycle and hopefully in future cycles.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. How about public comment on this item? Public comment. Any public comment? Okay. Hearing none. Commissioners, is there a motion on this task order?
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve task order number 101 between Lewis and Clark County and Great West Engineering, as explained by Mr. Carlin.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the task order as presented. Further discussion, commissioners.
None.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is construction and maintenance agreement between Lewis and Clark County and the Montana Department of Transportation. Mr. Carlin.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Again, Dan Carlin, County Engineer. Before you today is a construction and maintenance agreement to allow the Montana Department of Transportation, or MDT, to design and install curve warning signs along 2 corners of Birdseye Road and obligates Lewis and Clark County to conduct any necessary maintenance of the installed signs. Public Works Department has been working with MDT through the Highway Safety Improvements Projects, or HSIP program, since the nomination stage in early 2022 to identify locations meeting program criteria. Public Works staff identified this project location on Birdseye Road with concurrence from MDT staff. Project is located on 2 curves in the vicinity of Hidden Valley Drive, as you can see on your exhibit there. County sign crews will complete any necessary maintenance and pay for it out of their annual budget. Staff recommends approval of the construction and maintenance agreement and authorize the chair to sign all applicable documents, and I can answer questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Questions, commissioners? I like the utilization that it's MDT and they're going to be paying for. So great. Part of their safety dollars that they put out and make sure that roads and signage on dangerous or places where there have been history of crashes, that doesn't signage is upgraded and updated and tries to help that. Yeah, great. Any other questions, commissioners? Comments? Any public comment on this item? Any public comment?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just am trying to wade through this. So, is this to, this is just putting up signs saying this road is dangerous or crooked or what?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Payne, so there's as you can see on the exhibit there, there's a cluster of accidents at this particular location. Both sides of the road, both directions.
Okay, it isn't just the blue ones.
Correct.
Okay.
So the color of the dot indicates the severity of the crash. The blue dots are property damage only. And then as you move through the colors toward red, they become more severe. Fortunately, we haven't had any fatalities at this location over the time period that I have presented here. But when we have an accident cluster, that generally gets the attention of MDT and their safety program. So once the accident cluster is identified, then it becomes eligible for that funding program. There's a variety of different treatments that are options when something's identified. As you may recall, in other locations, we're installing guardrail, or rather MDT is installing guardrail. In this location, they discussed doing some pavement adjustments, which the county actually conducted last year. We did those improvements already because we were planning on doing our thin lift overlay program through this area. So what we did is we altered the super elevation of those curves to be compliant with FHWA standards. They were not prior.
Just a
So-
second. What, FH?
Federal Highways
Federal.
Administration.
Okay,
So those particular curves were too super elevated. So as you think banking, as you're driving into a corner, they were too banked. So we actually removed a little bit of the banking to make those compliant with standards for, it's called side friction. So as a vehicle is traversing a corner, there's centripetal force is what it's called, is trying to force the vehicle off the road away from the corner. So you bank the corner to allow the force of gravity to hold the vehicle down as opposed to shooting off the road. Sometimes it's actually too much and it will draw the vehicle into the other lane, which is really not ideal. And
Mhm.
if you're on the inside, it'll pull you off the road the other way. So we corrected that deficiency last year. And in combination with that, MDT is installing or designing and installing the chevron warning signs is what I'm assuming they're planning to do. But those indicate advance warning of, hey, you got a curve coming. Road kind of looks straight, but it's not. You can see it's not a big tight corner, but it is enough that people will, if they're not paying attention, things of those nature can cause a problem. So
okay, and one more. Then this is part of the improvement to the Bird's Eye Road that we've been working on for a while.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Payne, yes, last year's improvements were part of that. And then we're actually working north of this location this year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, how about public comment on this item? Public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve task order. Whoop, I'm the wrong
Next,
paragraph.
Number 10.
The construction maintenance agreement between Lewis and Clark County and the Montana Department of Transportation as presented by Dan Carlin.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the construction and maintenance agreement as presented. Further discussion, commissioners?
Just a little historical note. Many years ago, when the Benton Road was active, there was an incredible explosion right in this area of a wagon load of dynamite
Really?
that blew up, that was about to head over the Continental Divide before it blew up.
Now, Commissioner, you weren't there, were you?
I was just down the road away.
Just down the road. Okay. I had to give you a hard time. I mean, you set it up there. That was good. Oh, thank you. He actually, Commissioner Ralph has been a great historian on the Benton Road and the old Mullen Road and all of that, very much looking into the history. So it's been interesting to learn little tidbits like this over the last couple of years. So thank you, Commissioner. All right, any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Now, before you leave, please, I just wanted to make a comment prior to public comment here. Last couple of days, I've gotten to spend at least part of the day with our Public Works crew up in Great Falls at the Makus conference, which stands for the Montana Road Supervisors, County Road Supervisors Conference. And there are all things covered there, Public Works and to deal with roads and bridges and whatnot. And we had a good contingent of Public Works staff there. It was great. And the topics were excellent. And I just want to say, you know, how proud I am of the work that we do often and in the discussions on breaks or whatever, even in the sessions. Lewis and Clark County is using as an example of where people want to get to. And not that we have everything down, but we do a pretty darn good job. And our staff is our leaders in most of these areas and look to for advice to other counties. You could tell listening to state partners that were presenting that they use Lewis and Clark County often as examples of how things are going well. So just really proud of the work that you all do. And Director Chambers, thank you and your team. And Caleb got away, but make sure you thank everybody down there. Just I felt a good sense of pride while I was there at the conference, and it was nice to hang out with you all. So thank you for the work you do. And lots to learn. I learned a lot, the bridges and the scouring and all of that. And then how important it is to make sure that we have our agreements and things lined out with our local fire districts. Because when wildfire happens, we know that Public Works at some point is going to get called in to help. You know, we need to clear this road or cut a fire line or whatever, or fix a road so we can get fire trucks up there. And our level of safety and cooperation and agreements that are prior to the events happening is important. So thank you for your good work. And I just wanted to give you kudos while I had you here. So, all right, commissioners, anything you want to tell these people?
I think you have probably
All right.
said everything that we could possibly have covered regarding that issue, and it is a very accurate statement. So
Wow.
thank you, Andy.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, with that, we are at the time where we will take public comment on any item that is under the jurisdiction of the commission, but not on today's agenda. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? All right, hearing no public comment, no public coming forward. Commissioners, thank you very much. We will stand adjourned.